Not so long ago, these babies might have died from the things that too often kill children here in Senegal: dysentery, yellow fever, and especially malnutrition.
Malnutrition is a pandemic problem in West Africa.
As the West Africa Director of Church World Service, Lowell Fugley, an American living in Senegal, has seen the ravages of malnutrition.
Some countries, 1 child out of 4 does not reach the age of 5 years, dying due to malnutrition or diseases brought on by malnutrition. Worldwide, 500,000 children.
Generally, we might see between 20 and 30 children in a day.
Madame Tourénagé Sacco runs a pediatric center in Bignona, Senegal. Madame Sacco says the reason for less malnutrition is a tree called moringa. Some people call it a miracle tree.
There's less malnutrition now because we discovered moringa and all of its virtues.
The leaves themselves contain, ounce per ounce, about 3 times the iron you find in spinach, 4 times the vitamin A you'll find in carrots, 4 times the calcium you find in milk, protein, all the essential amino acids. Its leaves, fruit, seeds, even the flowers are all edible and highly nutritious. From the seeds you can extract a very high quality vegetable oil. The seed kernel powder can be ground up and used to purify water.
Foundations, universities, and companies from all over the world are researching moringa's potential applications. And U.S. foundations like Andrew Mellon, the National Geographic Society, and the National Science Foundation are all participating in moringa research. Research is one thing, but Fugley says that here in Senegal, moringa can be the difference between life and death.
This child you see here was brought to us by his mother 2 years ago in a very severe state of malnutrition, like a skeleton. His bones were just standing out and his mother was certain the baby was going to die. But we advised to take moringa. The child did recover, and now he's in excellent health. When a mother arrives with a malnourished child here, first we weigh the child and take his temperature and do a general examination. If he is suffering from a particular disease, we will treat that disease with medicines. And then we will counsel the mother to put the child directly on moringa. The mother will thereafter return with the baby periodically for checkups. And we find that moringa, not only does it rapidly cure malnutrition, but it also seems to have a beneficial effect on many other maladies.
Moringa in their own garden and harvest leaves like other cultivated products. After the leaves are gathered, they are then washed and spread out on a cloth to dry. They are then placed into a mortar and crushed. Even the little ones help. The powder is then sifted like flour. Now it's ready to use. In this case, it's used as a spice over the evening meal.
In the tropics, where they grow in the wild, local people use them. This is everywhere from Madagascar to Namibia to the Kenya, Ethiopia, Somalia area.
The plant's makeup also contributes to its ability to thrive in some of the most arid areas of the world.
So if we go ahead and break off one of these roots, we can see how full of water it is. That's what helps the seedlings get through dry periods and survive to adulthood.
The tree is not just full of water, it can also purify water, which can be a lifesaver.
Because a third to a quarter of the people on Earth, and it's about half of the people in the tropics, don't have dependable access to clean water to drink.
To help remedy this access problem, the University of Leicester, England is researching the coagulating properties of moringa seeds.
For moringa, we felt that this was a possible, local, low-cost, accessible solution, which even after the training program in how to use it came to an end, the people could carry on by themselves.
I heard about moringa on the radio, and so I went to the health post. They showed me how to use the leaf powder. In a very short time, my dizziness went away, and I started to have enough milk for my baby.
I used moringa regularly and felt much healthier. I had an easy childbirth, and my son Basiro was bigger than my previous babies. My other children were often sick, but Basiro has been very healthy. Before I began using moringa, I was really weak. Even to walk a distance of 1 mile was difficult for me. I was always short of breath and tired, and I had some kind of skin disease on my head. There were sores all over my scalp. After I began using moringa, these sores dried up and went away. So I continued to use moringa. I also noticed that since my baby was born, he hasn't had any health problems.
Africa's not the only place where moringa is working miracles. In India, it's called the drumstick tree. They are looking at the use of moringa as a potential cure to blindness because it's loaded with vitamin A. Vitamin A deficiency can lead to blindness, deformities, and other congenital diseases. According to the World Health Organization, vitamin A deficiency is almost at epidemic proportions in many rural villages. In 20 villages in western India, Kansas-based Trees for Life is trying to fight this epidemic by helping the people plant and use moringa.
In India, I know that people take the seeds and they will sort of stir-fry them, and they will get a vegetable that tastes somewhat like peanuts.
Ann Hirsch is a professor of botany at the University of California, Los Angeles.
Well, one of the things that impresses me most about moringa is the fact that it has the full complement of essential amino acids that human beings need. There are 8 of them that we cannot synthesize, so we have to get it from our food. In the developed world, we eat meat. In the developing world, meat is a rare commodity, or it's an extremely expensive commodity.
Experts are surprised that Western businesses haven't exploited moringa's commercial value in the developed world.
The place for a plant like moringa in this country would be most likely to people who follow a vegetarian diet. The protein could be processed and added to all sorts of different kinds of drinks or protein supplements that I know a lot of people purchase.
But in Senegal, the people have more immediate needs for moringa.
The mother should take a spoonful of powder morning, afternoon, and night every day. This will help her produce more milk and improve her health through 6 months while she's nursing her baby. She should also mix a spoonful of powder in with the baby's formula. We encourage pregnant women to start taking moringa while they're pregnant, after they give birth, while they're breastfeeding the child, during the child's weaning period, and afterwards. And this way we find that preventing malnutrition is much, much better than curing it.
Fugly has even set up a moringa processing plant to help larger numbers of people.
You can seed moringa in prepared beds every 10 centimeters or 3 inches. It's 100 plants per square meter. And once these plants reach a height of 3 feet, a meter or less, you can cut them back to about 10 centimeters off the ground, harvesting the green matter, drying it, and then pounding it into leaf powder for use in your clinics or households. Once you cut this back, the stubs will regrow, and 8 weeks later you can have another harvest. In this way you can have continual harvesting, up to 9 harvests every year,
which Fugly says produces about 650 tons per hectare, or 2.5 acres.
My own estimation is that 1 hectare of this intensive leaf cultivation can satisfy the vitamin A needs for up to 15,000 children.
The goal is to make sure that this family and hundreds of thousands of others have a future.
The idea to find a food, a perfect plant, that can satisfy people's hunger and give them all the protein nutrients that they need is of great importance.
If I had set out to design a tree which would be of maximum benefit to mankind, I'd be hard put to do better than the MoringaOleifera tree.